What's up, guys? First thing I would like to say is if you're new to the channel, thanks for joining us, and please subscribe. And the guys that have been following us this whole time, thanks for watching. So today we're gonna be looking at the 5 things that I love about this Audi. Number 5, I'm gonna say, is the interior. I really like the layout of the interior. It's really easy to find all the switches and buttons and everything, and it's very nicely laid out. Even though it's an older car, everything still looks relatively new, so the durability of all the buttons and everything is really good. Also, let's talk about the insulation of this car. I mean, it's very good at keeping the noise out. It also keeps the car relatively warm or cold depending on the temperature outside and what you have the temperature set at. Yeah, so speaking about the interior, Al, what do you think?
I really enjoy how comfortable it is sitting in here. On long trips, it's not a big deal. You can be comfortable. Even in tight turns as you're driving, it's not going to pull yourself out the seat. I feel the seats are fairly comfortable. Definitely the buttons, like you've said, they're large buttons. They're very good to the touch. You can not have to search and look around trying to find a button. You press, you know where things are. But that's the way any vehicle.
All right, guys. So let's talk about number 4. Number 4 is going to be some stuff that I retrofitted on this car. One being the reverse camera, and the other one being the foldable mirrors.
Now let's also point out that the car didn't come with a reverse camera, but the Audi Navigation Plus does have the provision for it, where you were able to go into the computer.
Well, the only Audis I believe that had the reverse camera was the RS4. So I remember back a while back, I think they discontinued it. They were selling the kit for the RS4 to put into any A4, S4 cars. The only difference is with the kit that we did with this, but we used the generic rear view camera that fit where the handle was to open the trunk, and it worked great. No problems at all. Everything fits great. The only thing that you have to do is with the radio, you need to reprogram the car so that it goes into, I guess, Lamborghini mode, or because this car came, navigation was also used in the Lamborghini, and it was an option to get the camera for it. Once you set it, it'll trigger the navigation to show the input for the rear view camera.
But also we had to take apart the parts of the trunk lid to install or replace the little button switch that had the camera installed with it. It's a fairly neat installation because it completely fits correctly, and the button is just cut down in size to be the provision for where the camera is.
All right, also that what we're going to include on number 4 is the retrofit of the foldable mirrors. I got these off of a B6 S4, I believe, and it came with the module and everything, and it was a plug and play pretty much install. The only thing I needed to get was the button, which has the extra function of turning all the way to the right, which closes the mirror and opens the mirror. I think that was a really cool option that some of the higher models of the Audi, I believe like the S line, had the foldable mirrors with the memory seats and all that stuff. I would love to get it to the point where when you unlock and lock the doors, it would open and close the mirrors too, instead of having to manually do it with the button. But I have to do a little more research into that. I think someone was able to get it to work, but I'm not sure. Let's move on to number 3.
The brakes.
The brakes. Now, from the factory, the brakes on this car are pretty damn good. Just upgrading the brake pads, you would see a huge difference. I mean, these have pretty large calipers and rotors to begin with. And you have the option, which I did on this car to upgrade to the S4 brakes, which pretty much all it is a different carrier on the front. It uses the same caliper, but it uses a larger rotor to help with the heat. Also on the rear, the rotors are larger. It also, one side effect to it, which actually helped us out, is with the wheels that we have on this car, the Mero 111s. If you saw my last video, I'll put it up on the top somewhere, so you can check that out. It allows it to clear the brakes, or clear the spokes on the wheel. When I first was looking into buying these wheels, people were telling me on the stock A4 that you might need a 5mm spacer, or
which isn't that much. 5mm is not that much to put on and be able to use to run with these rims. So
the wheels that we got were 18 by 9.5 with a 40 offset. Now throwing the 5mm would give it a 35 offset. I think with the way we have it set up, a 5mm would push the front wheels out way more than I would like. We'll show a little video of the rear brakes, how close they are, but they clear without a problem.
But it is close.
But it is very close. I might do a 5mm spacer in the back on the wheels just to push the wheels out and make it kind of level with the front. I feel like the front wheels are a little wider.
In my opinion, it's not that big of a difference, but if you could see it visually and you feel like it's a little too wide in the front, I can understand doing it.
Yeah, like if you look down the front of the car, you can kind of tell like the rear are kind of like dead even with the fenders, while the front are a little bit of a poke on the front. So I think a little bit of a spacer in the back will make it look a lot more even. Well, at least to me, I notice it. Other people don't really notice it, but I do. But these brakes are great. I really, really like these brakes. I mean, if you're not doing like performance driving, just for like everyday sporty driving every so often, I think this is more than enough for you.
Oh, definitely. And even with the stock brakes, all you really need to do is change the pad. Like you said, the aftermarket really supports these higher level racing pads and stuff like that. You're gonna have to deal with dust, but you know what? When it comes to the performance of a racing pad, you can't beat it.
Definitely, definitely. So now let's go on to, what are we up to, two?
Number two.
Number two, I would have to say, will be the performance of the car. Stock, it wasn't great, but the ability to upgrade parts and to really see a difference in the upgrades you do to the car, especially with a tune. Just a factory car, putting a tune on it made a huge difference. I mean,
and in all honesty, that's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. If you're looking to just what's the seat of your pants and what you feel from the stock to the next level, that stage 1 tune is going to be night and day. Now we're talking about value for power.
Okay,
that's what I'm talking about. Value for power.
Value for power, definitely the tune made the biggest difference.
Something as simple as a tune that you put into the computer, and you have such a big difference in the way the car performs.
No, definitely. I really like the performance of the car. The performance of the car has been great. Now, let's go to number one. Number one for me would have to be the all-wheel drive system on this car.
Absolutely.
I mean, we came from having rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive.
Open diff, too. Let's talk about that. Rear-wheel drive, open diff, you're going nowhere fast.
Correct.
In the snow, in the rain, it's dangerous as hell.
But we've had cars rear-wheel drive with electronic diffs, which work decent.
Yes.
But nowhere near the capabilities of this all-wheel drive system. Now, we've had a STI before, and we really can't put that into the same category for the fact that it had race tires on it, so you're not really getting all the performance you would get in inclement weather and stuff like that. That's like a performance all-wheel drive system. But as far as a daily driver, the all-wheel drive system on this car is pretty damn great. I mean, I've never gotten stuck in snow. And, you know, losing control in wet weather. It's been just awesome. I really love the all-wheel drive system on this car. It's just been great. Now, I think that would be our number one. So
well, Audi Quattro is known,
yeah,
for starting off in rally and taking it to that extra level. So they've adopted that into a vehicle like this, and it's been never looking back. It's been so good.
Yeah, so I have to say, number one would be just the performance of the all-wheel drive system on this. I mean, those are just the 5 that we came up right now. I believe there's definitely a lot more things to love about this car. And hey, you guys that have this car, feel free to comment down below and tell me the things that you love about your car. But that's a top 5 that I have right now. All right, guys. So until next time, we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and feel free to leave a comment below. Please click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this, and keep wrenching.